thicker than molasses. So much weed rolled up, light it, pass it. I get it, flip it and bag it, serving the cabbage. Run it right back, my home is secure the package. Make it disappear, see they never know who has it. Make the money reappear like it's magic. One of my homies out the third, living lavish. Trying to get this money where it's
Right now we're going to make traditional Italian risotto. We're going to wash it on last week after we make that before we can make it. It's a traditional classic Italian rice dish. It's slow cooked and these ingredients are making. Basically, traditional risotto has an Italian arboreal rice. It's a very short rice. You can put it in here. It's not shorter than a basmati. It's actually just a little bit longer than a sushi rice. It has a high starch content, so you don't. First thing in risotto is don't rinse your rice. You want the starch in there. It has the creaminess to it. The second ingredient is normally onions are sauteed in butter or extra virgin olive oil, and then the rice is added. The next step is to add white wine. Traditionally, there is only white wine in it, and you reduce it down to it absorbs all of that, and then you add the second most important key is warm stock. So the preferred is homemade. If you're going to make something with strong flavors, you can use beef. If you're going to do it all vegetable, you can use a vegetable broth. If you're going to do seafood, you want to make a seafood broth. Or chicken is a standard, you can use chicken broth. The key important fact of that is that it's warm. If you add cold stock continually, you just slow down the whole process of cooking the rice. If you can hear the music, we do own the rights to the music. It's our artist T. Kush, and his song coming out is Black and Gold. But I'm actually making, let's go back to the original rice. So the original rice, once you add the broth to it until it's al dente, that's the third most important key, is you don't want to cook the rice soft. It should just be done to the bite, but not raw on the inside when you bite it. And then you typically finish it with fresh parsley and Parmesan cheese. That's a basic risotto that kind of goes with everything. Now there's variations. There's a lot that where you could add spinach in. You could add asparagus. There are mushroom risottos that you can add. There's seafood where you can add shrimp, scallops, lobster. You know, it just kind of depends what your taste buds are, but it's a very universal type of dish. So I'm actually making one that's called a dirty risotto. It's reminds me more kind of a Cajun spin. It has the onions, which are traditional, but it has sweet bell peppers. These are a gourmet mushroom blend. It's portobello, shiitakes, and oyster mushrooms that are chopped, and spicy Italian sausage, and pancetta, which is an Italian bacon. And then it's finished the same way. It has white wine, and it's finished with Parmesan and fresh parsley. So I already have my broth that's warm here in the pan. And normally you're going to start always with a saute step. So if it's sauteing onions or garlic, here it'll be the onions and the red pepper, and then the meats are going to be added and reducing texture. So we can you want definitely a good kind of deep pan to put it in, and this is a solid yellow. As I mentioned earlier today, it's one of my favorite rice wines. Dry Chardonnays work as well. You wouldn't want to go with anything sweet. I wouldn't use liquid bills or anything like that. So you definitely want something a little more heavy bodied. So as soon as that starts to melt, we'll add our onions and the red peppers. This is one of T. Cush's songs, Go Hard. You can let us know if you guys hear it. We couldn't get our speaker box, so working. So, I apologize for being late. We were having a little technical difficulties. This is an all-clad pan. I like it. It's a super heavy pan. But it's great for even cooking because you don't want to burn the rice. So this is a dish you can't walk away from. You have to stay on it for about 35 minutes. You can't leave it. Because you're adding just enough moisture to it to dry up, and then typically you take a motion like this through the rice, and you're going to see if it's dry, and then that's going to be the key to add your broth to it. So, and you add the broth in small increments, so the rice just goes. What it does is it brings out all the starches and it makes that really creamy, awesome texture. It has heavy cream in it, but it doesn't. It's actually just the cooking method and the starches in the rice. So this looks like it's starting brown. This is about 3/4 of a cup of onions. And 1 cup of diced red peppers.
I was in the back doing business, and it's so sad that my mom doesn't know what I witnessed. I gotta tell you, it's a fact that I haven't been sinless. Not perfect, maybe I'm worth this. Started getting money, still up behind the churches. School for me, didn't really feel urgent. I was skipping class and fighting for no purpose. My demons, they're lurking. There's a devil in the eyes called urges. Temptation will get the best of you, but you gotta think it's even worse. If you're nervous, relax. Take a hit of the weed and lay back. I always thought it was still my path, but no line, so lost.
So you basically would just want to saute this till it softens. It's going to have about 35 minutes to cook. I always love the smell of your cooking. This has the onion and the sweet bell pepper versus the onion and carrot. So the pancetta will add a little more fat, a little more savoriness to it.
Oh man, hold on. They couldn't hear you, so people left because they couldn't hear you.
Because of the music?
Yeah, so you might have to start talking to them so they can hear what you're doing.
Hey everybody, sorry we lost you. We turned off the music because you said you couldn't hear me. Sorry about that. So picking back up this classic Italian risotto that we're making, this is actually called dirty risotto. It's has pancetta. This has 2 tablespoons of butter, 2 ounces of pancetta, which is an Italian bacon. It has a half a cup of onion and a cup of diced red bell pepper. And we're sauteing that down. And you don't want this to be crunchy, the pancetta. You just want it to be kind of golden in color. You'll see how it's starting to turn golden like that. And it smells great. And I'm going to add the mushrooms. I have 4 ounces of mushrooms in. This will kind of add a bit of moisture to it, but you definitely want to saute them down. No one wants mushrooms. So these are cut in kind of a rough chop. Maybe about a half-inch chop. Like I said, this is a blend of, you could just use white button mushrooms if you want. This is a blend of oyster mushrooms, shiitakes, and portobellos.
I had to boil them down or something.
Hopefully you can hear me now. I know I'm not the loudest person, but I'll try to talk louder.
I think I messed it up, Becky. Bad cameraman again.
2 weeks in a row.
Two weeks in a row.
Next week I'll have to fire you, but next week he's got a break because it's the Super Bowl. So we're gonna saute this down, but you can see it's still pretty dry. I have it kind of on medium heat because we don't want to make it real brown. The next ingredient we're going to add is 6 ounces of chopped hot spicy Italian sausage. So we're just going to kind of chop this up in here. Cook for a minute. Like I said, there's at least 4 really important keys to making really perfect risotto. One is starting with the right rice, which is arborio, I'm sorry. If you can see by this texture, it's really small compared to regular medium grain rice, basmati rice, jasmine rice. They're much darker in color. This is very white. That helps give it the really white creamy appearance, and it's short. It's actually just a little bit longer than sushi rice. Sushi rice is shorter. I mentioned that earlier today. It's for compacting rolls when you make them. And again, you want to keep that starch in there, so you don't want to rinse it. There's always a saute step that starts with risotto. It's going to be olive oil and onion, or butter and onion, garlic. Again, the vegetable portions, if you're doing like a mushroom or a spinach and you want to saute that. All risottos are made with pretty much the exact same process. So here we have 2 tablespoons of butter, a cup of onion, a cup of diced red pepper, and 4 ounces of wild mushrooms. And then I added 2 ounces of pancetta, which is Italian bacon, and this is 6 ounces of hot Italian sausage. So if you like chorizo or andouille, if you have your favorite type of, even if you like a mild Italian sausage, you could add that. So basically we're going to saute this. So in the next important step in risotto making is there's always wine, always white wine in it. That's the first liquid that's added, and you reduce it down until there's no liquid. That's called a reduction. Most sauces undergo that process. You're basically just concentrating it and drying it up. So then what happens is you need homemade stock, and the stock needs to be warm. It's really important that you're not adding cold liquids into the rice as it's trying to cook, because it slows down the process. So as I mentioned before, you could use a beef stock, you can use chicken stock, you can use vegetable stock if you wanted something that's completely vegetarian. You could add spinach, you could add broccoli, you could add asparagus. Like I said, it's kind of, you can customize it like you do pasta, and kind of put the ingredients in that you like the best, that suits your tastes. So this is cooking down pretty well. Typically this stage should take about 8 minutes. The pancetta is still a little, it's not really golden enough, so we're just going to let this cook down for a little bit more. So then always the next step after this is coating the rice in the fat. So you add the dry rice, coat it in the fat that's in here, and then you add the wine. That's always the first liquid that's added. And like I said, you reduce it down until there's no liquid left. See how I'm pulling this and there's nothing left on the pan? That's what will happen after you add the liquid. So most risotto recipes either have a quarter cup of liquid that's added at a time, or to a half cup of liquid that's added at a time. This is 5 cups of chicken stock, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to add it in half cup measurement, so that will be 10 additions of rice. Can I walk off and do something? No. This is something that you have to give a lot of attention to for it to have the right texture. You don't want to scorch it and burn it. It's not something that you can walk away from. So let's see. There's some bacon there. We still don't want to just cook that a little bit more. It's still not crisp by any sense, but I see it's just starting to turn a little bit golden like that. You can really hear it start to sizzle now.
Hey everybody.
Hi everybody, sorry we're late. We're having technical difficulties trying to get T-Cush's Musica, a Bluetooth speaker. So we apologize for being late. Hope everybody's had a great weekend. And got a little bit of rest and relaxation in. Okay, this is looking pretty promising here. For you that are just joining, cheers. This is a Kendall Jackson Sauvignon Blanc.
What is it?
Kendall Jackson Reserve Sauvignon Blanc. It just happens to be my particular favorite kind of white. I like the Chateau Saint Michel. There's a lot of, I like some of the New Zealand Marlborough Bay, Kim Crawford. They make good Chardonnay. I'm sorry, Sauvignon Blancs. You can use Chardonnay if you like. I wouldn't use a Pinot Grigio. I think it's too light in flavor. Okay, so this is looking pretty good. So the next step, like I said, in the process is to add the rice, and we're going to coat the rice. This is a cup and a half. This is all coated and blended pretty well. So now I'm going to add my 3/4 of a cup of white wine. You'll see that's going to want to reduce down. Like I said, I'm about medium heat. This should take not too long to reduce this liquid out. So this is going to start the rehydration process of the rice. See, this is doing pretty quick. See, you can already see how thick it's getting. The rice is starting to release some of its starch. So when I pull it back, it's clean. So I'm good to go on adding some broth. So we're going to add the broth, half-cup increments. Excuse me. So this is already hot and ready. Like we said, the broth needs to be warm when you add it, so you don't slow down the cooking process. So basically, this part is just repetitive. We're just going to slowly incorporate all of this 5 cups of broth here until it's all gone. And then basically there's a finishing step, which will be adding your Parmesan cheese and fresh parsley to it. In the first part, it dries much more quickly because the starch is really aggressive for the liquid. But the further you will go into it, the longer it will take to reduce out. So what you definitely don't want to do is burn it or scorch it. Scorch the starch. So again, I'm going to pull it back. Wow, it looks, see, slow-mo. Looks pretty dry. There's not any free liquid in it. So I'm going to go ahead and add another half cup of liquid. Who's with me tonight?
I can't see it because something is wrong, but it looks like I can't see it. Oh, okay. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. You just had Tina. Tina just showed up. Hi, Tina.
Hey, Tina.
You got Rhonda.
Hey, Rhonda. Thanks for coming back.
Miss Margaret.
Hey, Miss Margaret. Love you, Miss Margaret.
You have Trudy and...
Hey, Trudy.
And you have Lori, Teresa.
Hey, Teresa.
And you got Claude. Wait, it just jumped on me then. And you got Christy.
Hey, Christy.
You got Becky, I mean.
Hey, Becky. Sorry we lost you before.
She says it's 1:15 a.m. in the UK.
Oh, boy.
Oh, man.
That deserves
yeah.
a round of applause.
Right.
Thank
you have
you.
Kathy, too.
Hey,
Miss Kathy here.
Hey, Kathy.
You got Becky. I can't hardly see her name. Another Becky, though.
Okay, so this is actually...
You have Sydney, Becky.
Hey, Sydney.
Another Becky. Vanessa.
Hey, Vanessa.
Hey, Becky.
Hey, Becky. Okay.
Hey, Kathy.
Hey, Kathy. Cheers.
Hey, Tammy. Hey, Stanley.
Hey, Stanley.
Hey, Rachel.
Hi, Rachel.
Becky, Brenda, how you doing?
Okay, so this is getting dry again. Remember, the test is you pull back with a spoon, and we're not really seeing no free liquids coming back. So we want to make sure we don't, again, scorch that. So I'm going to get some more of my warm chicken broth. And we're going to add that in. So for you that are just joining, this is an Italian risotto that we're making. This is actually called a dirty risotto. It's, I guess, dirty because it has meat in it. It has pancetta and Italian sausage added to it. So the first step we did is took 2 tablespoons of butter, and we sauteed half a cup of onion, 1 cup of red pepper, just kind of until translucent, about 2 minutes or so. We added 4 ounces of a gourmet mushroom blend, which was shiitake, portobello, and oyster mushrooms, and I just did kind of a rough chop. They're about a 1/2 inch diced, rough chop, and so I sauteed those till it was dry. That was probably about six minutes, and then you add the pancetta and the sausage, and you cook that down until the pancetta is golden. We don't want it hard and crispy. You just kind of wanted it to be golden because it's going to be cooked probably another 35 minutes to get all of this liquid into it. So there's still, so see, when I pull it back, it's coming together a little too fast, and you can see that liquid. As I mentioned, the more liquid you add, the longer it's going to take as the rice starts to get more hydrated. So like I said, the pretty much the 4 keys for risotto is using arborio rice. There are a couple other types of Italian rice out there that you could use, but basically it's really short and very white. It's similar to sushi rice, but it's a little bit longer. And all risottos have white wine in it, and they have warm broth added, and you don't rinse the rice because you want to keep the starch. The starch is what in the rice is what gives that creaminess. Okay, so now we're pulling it back. There's really no free liquid, so that tells us we need to add some more stock to it. As I mentioned before, there's lots of recipes out. The standard risotto is going to have onions, white wine, chicken broth, Parmesan cheese, a little bit of salt and pepper, and finish with parsley. That's kind of just your basic, kind of like cheese pizza. And then you can augment it with all kinds of things that you like. So if you wanted to saute some spinach in there, you could add spinach, you could add broccoli, you could add asparagus. Again, there are some just straight mushroom risottos. They pair well with beef. So, you know, it has that little more savory. You know, this one to me could kind of be a meal in itself because of the meat that's in it, almost like paella. So this is a dish that you can't walk away from, and that's the thing about it. So you have to just keep continually waiting for the liquid to reduce and add more liquid. Wait for the liquid to reduce, add more liquid. So this is looking like it's almost ready. Like I said, you want to pull it back. Using a nonstick pan really helps. You don't want to scorch the rice. That's why you don't want to walk away from it, because it only takes a minute for once there's no liquid left. And at lunch after church, I saw that my buddy Rafael Nadal did not win the Australian Open. So I never did get to see the women's match. So if anybody knows, you can let me know. I think I was pulling for, what's her name? Osaka, I think was her name that made it. And so this looks like it's ready. Now you can really smell the pancetta. You can smell the sausage. And again, this is spicy sausage. So like I said, most risotto recipes are going to have a quarter to a half-ounce cup of liquid added in each step. So this is 5 ounces or 5 cups of broth. So it's going to end up being 10 additions over time to the rice. And you can see it's starting to gain in viscosity. This is the starch coming out of the rice. So it's not pulling away quite cleanly. See how all that liquid's left behind? So we're going to let that go for a minute more. And I'm going to have a sip of wine. Now I have 2 tablespoons of parsley and a half a cup of cheese ready to go. This will make about 4 to 6 servings. You know, if you're just eating it as your main meal, you won't quite get as many. But definitely if you're serving it as a side dish. If you're going to add seafood to it, you don't want to add raw seafood to it. You want to steam it or lightly roast it, however you choose, or quickly saute it. But definitely you want to cook the seafood first and then add it in, and not have this being, excuse me, have this be the cooking method for it. I'm going to add a little bit of ground pepper, about a half a teaspoon. And about a half a teaspoon of, this is my pink Himalayan salt, and I'm wasting a little bit, but I do want to just measure it onto my cutting board, I guess. Well, I'm just going to go by eye because I know what it is. And then you'll get saltiness from here, from the bacon, from the sausage, and from the cheese. Cheese is pretty high in sodium. So you can see how dry this is. So it's definitely time for me to add more broth. But it smells great. I wish we had like 4D cooking shows where you guys could smell it.
I know that's right, man. Yeah, I love it.
How does it smell?
Very delicious. Very good. Smell very good. Got a good smell. Great smell.
So you can see that the bacon is really cooking down. If you notice how it's becoming whiter in appearance, you know it's becoming kind of brighter and white. Oh, another key to risotto is not trying to chop and prepare things as you go, because it's all about timing with the rice. So if you're trying to grate cheese or chop parsley or do something, and you walk away from this, you don't want to ruin it. So mise en place, like the very first show that I ever did, is really important. I like to show you guys how everything's already done first, and it's really a great, that's what chefs do. They have everything at their fingertips to put things together. Most times you're not chopping and cutting as you go. Most things with culinary is all about timing, and if you're trying to put a meal together, a plated meal, and you have a vegetable and a potato or a starch and a meat that you're grilling, all of those things have to come together. And so if you don't have each part of the meal planned out and assess a time for each thing, it's your chances are going to be a lot harder to be successful, to have the right texture of everything, to have your meat at the right temperature, texture, if it's rare, medium, rare. You can't have that grilled and not have your other things prepared and still preparing it. And so, especially with this, if you were preparing steaks or something else, it's real important. This is a type of side dish you can't walk away from. So again, when you push back the spoon, it's dry, there's no liquid, so we're going to add some more stock to it. And you can see how much larger the rice has gotten. It's about doubled in size. Most rice, when you cook it, a good al dente is 2.3 to 2.5 times its weight. So if you have 8 ounces of rice, this was actually 10 ounces. So it should weigh 23 to 25 ounces when it's done with liquid. That's normally a good absorption rate and texture. That's a little bit more on the food science side then. So it still looks a little bit wet, still have some pre-liquid, so I'm gonna let that sit for a second. Again, this is still on kind of medium heat. We're on it enough to kind of boil gently but not scorch. If you put it on high, it's gonna scorch. So has anybody had any preferences of what types of ingredients you would incorporate into your own risotto? Don't all shout out at once. Come on now. Come on, Miss Becky. If you're up at 1 in the morning, we need to hear from you.
It's Margaret.
Hey, Miss Margaret. What would be, some people add peas to it, almost like what you would in carbonara, this way of pancetta. Peas is another thing that you could add to it. If you like peas, I like peas. The rest of my family does not. See, again, we're kind of dry, so we've absorbed all that liquid. I'm gonna add some more. You can feel it's definitely getting heavier and harder to push from the weight of the rice. Get this pancettas cooked down really well. Looks good. If you wanted it a little spicier, you could add some red peppers, some cherry peppers, if you want to keep it Italian. There are some risottos you add diced tomatoes and basil with. Like I said, it's pretty much limitless. If you wanted to add Gruyere or Fontina, feta, some type of, an olive, some type of, to make it a little more Mediterranean, you could do that as well. There's recipes out there where you could actually add pesto into it. I'm pretty sure everyone knows what pesto is, but it's a Italian sauce made of pureed basil, olive oil, and pine nuts. And so that would be really flavorful. Basil is one of my favorite herbs, along with parsley, cilantro. And if you were shopping with us at Walmart, I hit Antonio with a bunch of parsley, and I hit him with a bunch of cilantro. So again, this is starting to dry up. See, it looks like it's all okay. So I think we're down to kind of like our last 2 half cups. Does anyone have any questions? Have I explained it well? Can I do anything better? I'm a terrible joke teller, so I think I'm pretty much hopeless on that. My scientific brain I didn't get the funny gene, though I try really hard. Sometimes I make Antonio laugh.
Says she make her own daily basil.
Pesto?
Is my total favorite. Yeah, Becky said that.
Oh, okay.
Becky. Yeah, she said she loved her pesto. She said, then again, with all veggies, I love my vegetables. She loves vegetables.
Yep.
Looks great. Rhonda said, you have explained great.
Oh, good.
That's what Rhonda said.
Thank you, Rhonda. I just have to maybe come up with a really good Italian accent.
Becky says she's going to try your recipe.
Oh, good. Good.
You have a lot of comments.
Yep. So this is looking like it's almost dry.
It's always great to have all those comments.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to get a spoon and taste the texture of the rice. Just to see how close we are texturally to it. Again, you want it to be al dente. It's similar to pasta, where you want it to be firm to the bite, but not raw in the center. It's still just a little too firm. It's not raw where it's crunchy. Let me show you. If you cut this, if you cut it in half, see, it's not translucent like it's raw, but it's still just a little bit firm. So we probably will need this last half cup. Again, this is reducing down really well. Okay, quiz time, quiz time. What are the 4 key parts to making risotto? Tick tock. 1, using arborio rice. So you need a very short white rice. That's the key. You don't want to use a medium or a long grain rice. The color, the texture is not the same of making it. 2, you don't rinse the rice. We want the starch. That's what makes the creaminess and the sauce-like texture. 3, well, there's always wine in it. That's not kind of one of the majors, but there's always white wine in it. 4, you have hot broth, hot chicken stock. Homemade is normally the best. If you can't do it, and this is starting to be really dry now. See, when you pull it back, there's no liquid at all. So we're going to go ahead and add this in. You want the stock to be warm. So if the stock's not warm, it's really going to slow down this process. And the process is normally about 35 minutes to get this stock in. And the stock has to go in small increments, a quarter to to a half a cup. Excuse me. At a time. That's what really develops the overall texture of the product. So it's not like cooking minute rice. You know, this actually takes a little time to prepare, but it's well worth it. And I'm sure anyone who tries what you make will appreciate and recognize the difference of that. And so basically for each addition that you add, you know, you want to make sure it's dry. And then again, almost all risottos are finished with parsley and Parmesan cheese. So what you end up doing is you pull it off the heat and then you add those 2 ingredients. So you don't want to cook the parsley till it's brown. You really want the fresh, bright flavor. And you don't want the cheese to cook and brown in this process. You just want it to add in and be like really fresh. You can smell the sausage. And don't worry about it being having an alcohol taste. It kind of cooks off, and there's so much broth and moisture from the vegetables, it's not going to taste like wine. But it definitely gives a different depth of flavor. And like I said, you can vary the wine. I just wouldn't add a sweet wine to it. Not like a Zinfandel. Definitely want something with a higher alcohol content, something more savory. Okay, so this is looking pretty good. We're going to go ahead and add our last little bit of broth to it. Turn that off. I'm going to turn this down a little bit because this is kind of the last amount of broth that we're adding. The other thing is if you cook it on too high of a temperature, you're going to evaporate. You can see some evaporating off. You'll evaporate off more liquid than the time the rice has to absorb it. So you don't want to evaporate off the liquid. You want to give it time for the rice to actually absorb it. And once you add the cheese, that's also going to bind it some more. So with the risottos, you want to serve them right away because it's going to get very thick, and cold rice is not a good thing. So for me, when I'm doing dinner parties, I always have warmed plates. Definitely, and you have to be fast at that part. Having your side dish of sauteed vegetables, your sauces ready, your meat already grilled or prepared and ready. So all you're doing is assembling plates and getting that out fast so it's hot and still beautiful. Texture, texture, texture. Temperature, temperature, temperature. It all plays a big role. So this is pretty much dry. I'm just going to get my spoon again, get a little bit of the rice to test the texture. Now, if for some reason you run out of stock and the rice is still a little hard, you can add a little bit of warm water to it if you like. I'm going to add so I was going to add a pinch more salt, but maybe not, because I know once I get the cheese in there, again, there's a lot of saltiness and savoriness with the cheese. So I will have a sip of wine.
Instead.
So this looks really good in texture. So I'm going to go ahead and pull it off the heat. So you want to get it off the heat. And add this parsley. And then this is our half a cup of grated cheese. And if you want a little bit extra to garnish it with, you can. You could top it with some beautiful sliced sausage. You know, if you had extra sausage left over, or you could even serve it with it to, you know, it's more of a meat item. Like I said, this is going to be plenty heavy for me, and see how much that's pulling together. And that green gives it the splash of color. You have the red and the meat with it. So I'm just going to go ahead and try this one more time and make sure the flavor is right. The cheese really has brought out a lot of the flavor. It's good. I'm ready to plate it. I think we're just going to eat this as a main dish. Instead, so I'll pull this out. But again, this could be an accompaniment to, yeah. Oh, it's so pretty.
Mm-hmm.
You could put a little piece of basil with it.
Thank you.
A little bit more cheese if you want. I have my block of cheese here that we could just grate a little bit over.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, baby. Oh yes, it looks good.
There you go.
Oh, it looks good. Look at that. Go ahead on, shut around a little with your bad self.
Let's go over here in the light a little bit more.
See that, Miss Margaret? That's nice. It looks delicious. You did awesome, man.
Antonio happens to love rice.
Yes, I do, Becky. Looks amazing. Thank you. Becky said it looks amazing.
No.
I love all the wonderful things they have to say.
So now you have the secrets to making classic.
Oh, she said you make things so easy to follow.
Oh, thank you.
Things easy to follow. So if I copy my dish, may taste nice. Right. Right, Becky. Thank you, Miss Margaret. She said it looks fantastic. Thank you, Miss Margaret. We miss you, Miss Margaret. You know we got a lot of love for you, woman.
Yeah. We're happy you're with us.
Hey, Lisa.
Okay, so let's grab a fork.
And don't you have something to tell me?
Oh, we've been.
Hold on. We got to make sure you get it right.
Oh.
We got a special announcement.
Oh, now the pressure's on.
Hold on. Hold on right quick. Let me see. You hold this right quick?
Okay.
Hold on right
Here I
quick.
am.
They can see you.
Hi.
Good.
I'll save a sip. Do I have it out still? Yes, I do. Can't get the lid off with one hand, so I will wait for them to come back. Antonio went to go get tea kush, so I'm gonna sneak a bite while it's still hot. So okay, the men are back. Pour a little more wine.
Okay, give me a little bit. We got a special guest here tonight. Got something to say to y'all. Him and his beautiful mother. You know what I mean? We got an announcement to make to the world. We're really happy about this because this means so much to us. And hey, what better way to do it than let the man himself tell you?
First of all, what's going on, you guys? Since day one, family out there. I haven't heard from you guys in a while, and I haven't said nothing to you guys in a while, so I just want to say what's up. We're coolin'. I'm about to try this rice that my mom made. It looks delicious. So, but first, what I really want to say is that February 3rd is going to be a Super Bowl event at the Legacy Gardens. I'm going to be there performing live. I'm sorry. With Yellow Breezy, Derez Deshawn, the Free Bands family, and Light Skin Keisha. So it's going to be a huge event. You guys got to be there for it. I would really appreciate it if you guys went there and showed some support because that means so much to me. And I want to really, really be able to show you guys what I can do when I get on the stage. So if you guys could be there to see that, I would appreciate it. And I'll definitely make it worth your while.
Starts at 9.
T Kush in the building. Yay, 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 yay. Since Day One Records, baby.
Legacy Garden, the history of that, for you that don't know, is it's a memorial to Tupac Shakur. Sorry, that's the wine.
It's okay, baby.
And his mom actually bought a garden, so I believe it's 42 acres, to have outdoor events and concerts in his
indoor
name. And there's an indoor facility. It holds about 4,000 people, so we're really
4,500.
4,500, excuse me.
That's the wine.
And so there is actually a tree in the gardens where his ashes are buried. There's definitely, and there's a brick walkway where stars have kind of put their names in that walkway that you could see. So we're really hoping for a great turnout, and we're just so excited for the opportunity.
Too excited. Because it's a great opportunity. And now the world get a chance to see what Kush really got. You know what I mean? Like action. This is what you call action. Like this is what we work for. This is what we live for, to support our child and whatever it is that they're interested in and their goals and dreams are. We just want to do whatever we can in any kind of way that's the right way, and reasons of being women and men, and support our kids no matter what they're doing. As long as it's the right thing, we supposed to support them. And that's what we're doing over here with Since Day One Records. We are supporting T Kush to the fullest. Mm-hmm. And we don't need pictures to show anything. We want action. So you guys will get a live video, if you're not there, of his show. He will perform live with them guys there. And it's amazing. It's a blessing. And we want to thank y'all for all y'all support. And we want y'all to know this. Don't let nobody get in your head. You know what you believe in, and you know what you think and what you love. And that's where you follow your heart. You follow your heart. You know what I mean? And that's what we're doing. We're following our heart and believing in our child, and doing what he feels is best for him and his career. That's what we're doing over here since Day One Records. So we'd like to see you guys there if you're in Atlanta, Georgia, or South Carolina. We'd like to see y'all there on the 2nd for the Super Bowl.
Anywhere from, any state you're coming from.
Right.
If you're going to be at the Super Bowl, that would just be a night of fun, a chance to see a lot of great artists and get the vibe of Atlanta. And can't wait to see you there.
Atlanta is a great place.
Yeah.
And you heard what Kush said. He meant that. It'll be worth your while. Mm-hmm. This kid is on the rise. And there you go again. There you go again. Kush in the building, baby. Yes, this is a building.
Don't be scared to come out.
You heard him. Don't be scared to come out. He excited. You know, the whole family excited. So y'all are a part of our family. We want y'all to be excited too. We doing this for everybody that's a part of Since Day One Records. And Chef Robin Lewis in the kitchen live.
We all hope you have a blessed week. If there's anything we can pray for you guys and lift you up in, we're here. We're here to support you guys like you support us.
Right.
So, and we love you like you love us.
Yes, we do.
So, I guess we're gonna sign off. Eat some risotto. Try it. Don't be afraid. It's okay. It'll all be good. And
you'll be back after the Super Bowl?
I'll be back after the Super Bowl. I'm gonna take a break next week. But we'll be back the week after.
Thank you so much, Margaret. Thank you so much. Let them boys know we doing our thing over here, all right? Let them know that. Let them know we ain't stopping. We won't stop. T. Kush is not going to give up. He's going to do what he's supposed to do. He's going to get in the places that he's supposed to get in. But we're going to support him. We're going to be there.
Yeah. Good night, everybody. Bon appetit. Love you. Good night.
Good night.
Deuces.
Oh my God, hold up. Why?